After 10 years, I'd had enough of London. I'd had enough of the lifestyle, and I decided to come back home. I thought, oh God, what am I going to do now? Because the market's tiny, especially Melbourne. So all the major record companies were in Sydney, so I continued doing that, but then I also continued doing portraiture work, but it always sort of character portraiture, quirky sort of stuff. So I'll just flick through a couple of the editorials, and the reason I've got this as the first shot is whatever you're doing in photography, you're always selling some product or an emotion, but you're always communicating something. And the lead singer, at the time they were #1, they'd won ARIAs and they were the biggest band in Australia. And I had the idea of holding the Rolling Stone logo to say, here is the #1 ARIA band holding the Rolling Stone. We've got our picture on the front cover of Rolling Stone. The publisher loved it. It was the biggest selling magazine for the year, all because of that one frame of let's do something a little bit different. And so that was a really successful cover for those reasons, which they gave me more work because she's coming up with ideas. She's the art director as well as the photographer. So that led on to more work from the Rolling Stone magazine and more bands, which meant more record company work. This guy, Ben Harper, he probably only had half an hour of time, and we shot him in his bedroom at the Como Hotel, and we basically brought in a background, lights, the whole thing, and we had to literally go through his suitcase, pick out the right colours, all in the space of half an hour. The only brief I had, make sure you get the tattoos. Our market is 13 to 20-year-old males that want to look cool and tough, and this is Ben Harper. That's the only thing that... So there's always pre-thought behind magazines and what sells. This is lead singer of Killing Heidi. She turned 16 on the day. Again, target market between, 13 and 25-year-old young boys. Make it look as sexy as possible. She's incredibly uncomfortable being half sort of naked and provocative, but this is what sells. Jet at the time, again, #1 ARIA winners, Rolling Stone. It was the ultimate version of getting, say, the Rolling Stones on the front cover. They were huge. This band from Dingley, Dandenong, exploded. Worldwide market, multi-millionaires now living in Lake Como, from Dingley to Lake Como. So I will do any sort of magazine work as long as I can do what I want to do and be a little bit more creative than the average press shot. So I wasn't marketing actually, so I just decided to ring anyone and everyone. And I came across this magazine that was a free magazine from the RACV. And they're like, no, we've got our photographers from many, many years, very loyal, we can't possibly use you. And then I said, well, just have a look at the link, and because I wasn't attached to the magazine, or I didn't think, oh my God, Vogue, I wasn't intimidated, I actually was a little bit pushy and I said, well, why wouldn't you have a look at, I've done this and I've done that, just have a look. I didn't care what had happened. And so consequently, the editor discovered I had a photo of Tim Costello, and I resold, and they needed him, so I resold the photo for a couple of grand, and then the editor, who was an ex-art teacher, had a look at the website and said, oh my God, let's create a section in this Royal Auto car magazine, free magazine, called The Next Big Thing. So the next big thing included anyone that's a creative entertainer that's potentially going to be the next big thing. So we got to shoot surfers, we got to shoot Megan Washington, who's an ARIA winner, all with this funny little magazine called the Royal Auto, which again brought me back into the record companies, back into the management instantly. First female football, very controversial to have a woman on the front with a football. Gay woman in a glamorous dress. It was a bit like, ooh. Again, they just let me do whatever I want to do. I'm shooting with a torch, a pen torch. Why not? The art director was all for it.